Adoptees! Today we're talking about angle addition, so adding up two or more angles to equal a total angle or an original angle, however you want to say it. So the definition we have here is just talking about part plus part equals whole, and that if you've got two angles that make up a third angle or two or more angles that make up one angle, then you could add up those pieces, put them together to equal the total angle. Let's take a look at this example on the left. We've got a picture and we have a quote unquote YOA original angle, and it is broken up into two angles from this OD ray between the sides of the angle OY and OA. So it's created two new angles, YOD and DOA. So because of these two angles created and they make up YOA, we can add up their measures to equal the measure of YOA. So let's write that in a little sentence here. The measure of angle YOD plus the measure of angle DOA equals the measure of angle YOA. So that's the general idea. Part plus part equals whole. Let's go ahead and take a look at some practice. First, let's start with some practice with just some numbers. Number 1 says find the measure of YOA given the measure of YOD is 50. So let's go ahead and draw that in there. And the measure of DOA is 55. Remember, with whatever given information you have, always draw a picture or fill in that information in your given picture. So this is exactly what we just wrote over here in our example. YOD, which is 50, plus DOA, which is 55, that equals YOA. And that's what we want to find here. So the measure of angle YOA is just the sum of those two angles. So 50 degrees plus 55 degrees, which makes 105 degrees. So that's the measure of angle YOA, and we're done there. So it's just as simple as that. Number 2, find the measure of YOD. Okay, so let's be sure we know that we're looking for this angle this time and not the total angle YOA. We do know the measure of YOA though. That's 115 degrees. So let's draw that out here like this. And measure of DOA is 60 degrees. Okay, we've got all our given information. So if we go over here and look at our sentence here, we can see that YOD is what we want to find, and we have DOA and YOA. So if we solve, kind of thinking about algebra with these letters, we solve this equation here for the measure of angle YOD, we can subtract the measure of angle DOA from both sides. And then we'll see that the measure of angle YOD equals the measure of angle YOA minus the measure of angle DOA. That's because these guys right here, measure of angle DOA minus the measure of angle DOA, will simplify to 0. So that is eliminated on the left-hand side of the equation. That was a lot going on to simply say this. This total angle minus this 60-degree piece equals the leftover piece. It's kind of a reversed way of adding the angles together. It's just a subtraction. So total minus part equals the other part. So the measure of angle YOD is 115 degrees minus 60 degrees, and that is 55 degrees. So we're done on that one. Now let's take a look at some algebra. We only have one problem here, and we've got our picture still, So remember, let's fill in the information into the picture as we go. So we're wanting to find the measure of YOA. So we are finding the total angle here. And we know each piece. So we even know what YOA is, but it's in an algebraic expression. So let's start with the first one. The measure of angle YOD is 6x plus 14. So let's just draw that in there. 6x plus 14 is this piece of the angle. 12x minus 7 is DOA. 12x minus 7. And the total angle, YOA, is 15x plus 31. Okay, part plus part equals whole. Even though there's a lot going on with these algebraic expressions, still the same process, still the same idea. So one of the parts is YOD. So that's 6x plus 14. We add that to the other part, 12x minus 7, which would be this measure of angle DOA here. And we equal that to the measure of angle YOA, which is 15x plus 31. Okay, so let's just combine like terms and solve the equation. So we'll start by combining like terms. 6x plus 12x is 16, 17, 18x. And 14 minus 7 is 7, so plus 7. I'm going to keep my equal sign a little bit to the left here, and I'll go ahead and rewrite that right-hand side of the equation, 15x plus 31. Now let's continue to solve. We can say subtract 15x from both sides. You don't have to start with that, but that's one thing you can do. 15x minus 15x is 0. You have 18x minus 15x is 15, 16, 17, 18. 3x. I'm going to continue over here. Yes, I did just count on my fingers. I like to do that. Helps me not make a mistake. And it's not babyfied, if you ask me. I say count on your fingers all you want. Next, we'll subtract 7 from both sides. 7 and 3 is 10. 10, 20, 31. So 24. Those 7s are 0, 3x. And 31 minus 7 is 24. Three x equals 24. To solve for x, let's divide both sides by 3. And x equals 8. Now we're not done. We have found x, which is great, but our final goal is to find the measure of angle YOA, which currently is 15x plus 31. So we have to substitute x equals 8 into this expression to find out the measure of YOA. So let's do that. I'll just start right here. 15, substitute our 8, plus 31. So 15 times 8 is 120, plus a 31. 20, 30, 40, 51, so 151. And this is our final answer. And if you want to write it nice and pretty, you should write the measure of angle YOA equals 151 degrees. Because that's readdressing the question. Okay, that's it for this one. See y'all next time.